Whenever we meet, we had a good time with discussion on GST. This time I have come up with a specific issue. So the taxpayers, when they receive invoices with incorrect data, they find it difficult to set it right. Now I understand some new feature has come up in the GST network. Can you explain me what is this?
Yes, sir. You are right. GST portal has brought in a new system called Invoice Management System, or IMS to be short, which is available on the GST portal. This information is made available by the supplier when they file their GSTR1, and it is available to their buyer, and it seamlessly provides the information with reference to the tax invoice, credit note or debit note, on the basis of which the buyer will be able to take action either to accept, reject or keep pending. So this is a new facility that will help the buyers in availing proper input tax credit.
So from which date it is available?
This IMS facility has been brought from 1st of October 2024. The first IMS through GSTR 2B has been made available from 14th of November 2024.
What is this 14th number, sir? What is the specific?
Yes. 14th November is the date on which the draft GSTR 2B is generated based on the information provided by the supplier either in his GSTR 1 or GSTR 1A, or in case of a quarterly return filer through his invoice furnishing facility. On 14th of November, the details with reference to October tax period will be generated and GSTR 2B will be made available to the buyer.
So what are all the documents available in the IMS?
IMS facilitates transmission of in tax invoices, credit notes, amended tax invoices, amended credit notes, and also the tax invoices generated by e-commerce operator. Once this information is made available in GSTR1, the IMS facilitates availability of this information to the buyer as well as to the seller.
Sir, you told invoices, debit notes and credit notes are available in the IMS.
Yes.
Whether all such documents will be available, is there any document which will not be available in the IMS?
Yes, there are certain documents which will not be available on the IMS portal. Invoices which are not eligible for taking input tax credit either because of limitations of time under section 16(4) or because they attract the rules of place of supply will not be available in the IMS portal.
Or who will have the access to the IMS functionalities?
IMS functionality is available for all normal registered persons under GST. It is available for SEZ units. It is available for SEZ developers. It is also available for those taxpayers who have registered themselves as casual taxable persons.
Okay, sir. What about the persons who are paying tax under composition levy scheme?
Composition optees are not eligible to avail input tax credit. They are not part of the scheme of input tax credit, and therefore this functionality access is not available for them.
As a taxpayer, what I will be able to see in the IMS?
As a taxpayer, in the IMS dashboard, you have two view options. One is the buyer's option, which is inward supplier's view, where the buyer will be able to see the records uploaded by the supplier, and he has the option either to accept, reject or keep pending. As far as the suppliers are concerned, they have outward supplies option where they can see what action the buyer has taken in the IMS dashboard with reference to the records uploaded by them.
Sir, you told this is an additional facility to the taxpayer. So whether it is mandatory for me or it is not mandatory for me to go through this IMS process?
Yes. At present, the IMS facility that is extended is only optional. It is not mandatory. It is generally expected that the taxpayers as a buyer will have to take action either to accept, reject or keep pending. But if the buyer does not take any action on the invoices, the system considers it as deemed acceptance and proceed with validating the GSTR 2B. The action has to be taken before filing of GSTR 3B for that particular tax period. Therefore, if no action is taken before filing GSTR 3B, the draft GSTR 2B will be validated and that will be available for the buyer to take his input tax credit.
Sir, how I will get access to IMS?
Access to IMS is through common portal which can be accessed at www.gst.gov.in. Post login, you will have to access to services, returns tag and then check for the IMS Invoice Management System. After entering into Invoice Management System, you will have the list of documents that are populated by your suppliers where you have to take action either to accept, reject or keep pending.
Sir, if I accept and reject some documents, what will happen to those documents?
All the accepted documents will flow into the GSTR2B and get the draft auto-populated GSTR2B validated. Those documents will become eligible for taking input tax credit in the hands of the buyer. If the buyer rejects any document in the IMS dashboard, the information flows to the supplier's outward view of the seller where the seller will be permitted to take a corrective action.
Sir, you told the accepted documents will be taken for credit under GSTR 2B returns and the rejected documents will go to the supplier's view. What will happen to the documents which I kept pending?
Yes. Documents which are kept pending will be available in the IMS dashboard till they reach the time limit prescribed under section 16.4. After expiry of this time limit, as per section 16.4, the system itself will remove such records as those documents are not eligible for taking input tax credit.
So, what is the time limit under section 16.4?
Section 16.4 of the CGST Act prescribes a time limit for availing input tax credit with reference to those documents on which the credit was not availed in the preceding financial year. For instance, if there is a document which pertains to the financial year 23-24, the time limit prescribed under section 16.4 is that the credit shall be availed before 30th of November 2024. So, for any financial year, the time limit prescribed under section 16.4 is up to 30th of November of the succeeding financial year. So, after expiry of this time limit, the system itself will remove such documents which are not eligible for taking input tax credit.
Sir, I have taken action on the documents in IMS system and GSTR 2B got generated. Now, can I take again the action on the same documents after the generation of GSTR 2B?
Yes, the answer is yes. You can take action on the same records any number of times. However, you will have to be very cautious in a sense that once action is taken on the same record, you will have to regenerate your GSTR2B so that the information that flows from the IMS system into the GSTR2B is updated and validated. However, all such actions repeatedly for regeneration of GSTR2B will have to be taken before the return for that particular tax period in GSTR3B is filed. Once GSTR3B is filed, such actions are not possible.
Is there any situation where a taxpayer cannot get GSTR 2B generated?
Yes, the system will not generate GSTR2B by 14th of the subsequent month if the taxpayer has failed to file his GSTR3B of the preceding tax period. However, once the taxpayer files his GSTR3B, then GSTR2B can be auto-generated through IMS dashboard.
After taking actions on the documents available in the IMS, should I mandatorily recompute GSTR 2B?
Yes, if you have taken any action to alter the records that are available in the IMS portal, then recomputation of GSTR2B is mandatory.
So, how many times I can act and regenerate GSTR 2B?
There is no restriction for recomputing GSTR2B. You can recompute GSTR2B any number of times, but till GSTR3B is filed. Once GSTR3B is filed by the buyer, recomputation of GSTR2B is not possible.
Sir, what about generation of GSTR 2B in respect of the taxpayers who are filing returns quarterly.
I think you are referring to the scheme called QRMP scheme, which means quarterly returns monthly payment scheme. This scheme is available for specified taxpayers where they can file their returns on quarterly basis provided they pay their taxes on monthly basis. In such situations, for QRMP optees, the GSTR 2B for the buyers will be generated only on quarterly basis. This GSTR 2B will aggregate the information from month 1, month 2 and month 3 for that particular quarter, and GSTR 2B will be generated on 14th of the month succeeding the quarter. However, these taxpayers who have opted for QRMP scheme will be filing invoice furnishing facility, and once this invoice furnishing facility is availed and the information and records are uploaded in the common portal, the IMS dashboard of the buyer will be populated for him to take any action. So on monthly basis, he can accept, reject or keep pending. However, his GSTR 2B will be aggregated on quarterly basis and GSTR 2B will be generated only on quarterly basis.
Sir, can I download all the data available in the IMS?
Yes, the data in the IMS is available for download as an Excel file. It is advisable that every taxpayer reconciles his information between GSTR 1, IMS, GSTR 2B before filing their GSTR 3B return.
So I understand that so far this reconciliation process has been done manually. Now the GST network itself has created an additional facility by IMS system so that the buyer and the seller communicate through the system itself, and we are getting correct and eligible ITC for the buyer and the correct GST 3B return for the supplier and the buyer both.
Yes, you are right. The IMS facilitates this aspect to get proper sovereign validated input tax credit, and at present it is an additional optional facility and not a mandatory facility. So thank you for asking all these questions. I hope I have clarified all your apprehensions with reference to this new facility that has been brought in by this GST portal.
Yeah, sure, sir. You have clarified all the things related to IMS system. Thank you very much, sir. We will meet once again later with a different topic.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you very much. Jai Hind.